stream these sessions so that you can, there we go, onto YouTube, but I'm being spotlighted so your cameras won't be recorded. So for those of you who are new to these, I will just let you know how they run. I'll spend a couple of minutes at the beginning just introducing a theme around mindfulness. We'll then go into a short meditation practice, which is one of the main ways in which we can practice and train ourselves in mindfulness skills. Then we have the chat box open. You guys can let me know how you found it, what you noticed. We can attempt again what we tried last time, which was allowing everyone to unmute and actually having a chat and letting me know how they found it that way. Didn't turn out to be too popular last time, but that's okay. We'll try again, and we'll see. It's a little bit intimidating of a situation, perhaps. That's fine. But then at the end of the session, you guys have your open mic session, so you guys can unmute and hang out and chat. So let's move into it. The theme for today's session, is there anything else I should say? I should introduce myself a little bit, I suppose, because I only sometimes do. So for those of you who haven't met me, as I said, I'm Solomon. I'm in the UK on the south coast, a little city called Brighton, well, just next door to it, called Hove. And yeah, right now it is 7:30 p.m. in the evening. It's very dark, and the UK does this really silly thing where just as it starts to get really dark, some other countries have this too, just as it starts to get really dark, we put all the clocks backwards. Is it backwards? Yeah. So it means that everything gets even darker an hour earlier. I think it comes from something to do with farmers and then them getting an extra hour of sunlight in the morning to do their work. But anyway, unimportant. Anyone else have that? I feel like I asked this question when the clocks were going forward. Send me a message in the chat if that's a thing for you in your country, because I think it's only some countries. Oh, that's right. Someone just said in Chile. I knew that. Someone said that last time. Oh, in Germany. Oh, Estonia. Okay, lots of you know this. Anyone else? No. Okay. So, yes, it does suck, exactly. And in Germany too. Okay, lots of people feel my pain. And in India. Okay, everywhere. I thought this was just us. So let's move on. The theme today is around compassion, kindness, and it's the idea that when we place so much, particularly as students, we place a lot of value on external rewards and achievements, whether that's with exams, or essays, or getting jobs that we're looking for afterwards. There's so much focus and value on those things, which are kind of things that are external to us in many ways. And the teachings of how to be kind and compassionate towards ourselves is usually forgotten. So as students, we often face kind of quite challenging new social and academic pressures, and there are lots of expectations, so it can be helpful to learn some ways of coping with that. And there are these two terms around self-esteem and self-compassion, and sometimes we only tend to talk usually just about self-esteem, or maybe we confuse these two terms. So let's just talk about them and how they're different, and how what we're talking about with mindfulness is more about self-compassion than self-esteem. And then we're going to move into a meditation practice that helps us practice that as a skill. So if we think about high self-esteem, this is similar to what I said before. It's about frequently, it frequently comes from doing well. So we have high self-esteem when we're doing well at something, we're getting positive feedback, we're achieving our goals. And maybe as students, it often feels like we are constantly chasing good grades, good career development. And so as a result, when we're doing well, it feels like we're doing well, and we're feeling good about ourselves. And when things feel like they're not going so well, our self-esteem plummets as well, and that can reduce our mood and make us feel bad about ourselves. So we tend to get knocked about quite a lot emotionally. So you can go feeling really elated one moment to a good test result, to feeling really down in the dumps if you argue with a friend or something doesn't quite go your way. So it's all based on some things that we judge to have happened external to us. And so we really judge it based on how we perceive things that are going on in our lives, whether we judge them to be successes or failures. And it can be understandable that we can get down on ourselves because, say, you sit an exam and the test results come out. The first thing anyone asks is, oh, how did you do? How did you do? Are you happy with what you got? So it's quite comparative in nature. We derive our self-esteem from how we do compared to other people around us. So self-compassion, which is tied to mindfulness, is much more something that comes intrinsic. It's something that if something doesn't quite go according to plan, when we feel a bit let down, we're still feeling okay about ourselves fundamentally. We don't think in any way that we're damaged or we don't have value or we're not worthy of love. So it moves us away from this comparative mindset and instead focuses on the similarities rather than the differences that we have with other people. And so the idea being, if we can just suspend comparison and just see our own achievements, whatever they may be, as worthy in their own rights, then this may lead us to, rather than having these large fluxes of mood, we can stay quite steady and appreciate ourselves in a way that will just make life feel a little bit more enjoyable and stable. So we're going to practice a meditation now, and it involves what we call loving kindness. Mindfulness being the practice of awareness or attention in the present moment, alongside certain attitudes of patience, of curiosity, and also of generosity, of loving kindness, of compassion, self-compassion. So this is very linked to the mindfulness practices we do. We're just bringing that attitude of self-compassion a little bit more to the foreground today. So, cool, I'm just going to close this box. So as I often try to remember to say in these sessions, that if there's anything that may be distracting nearby and you want to really pay attention to this practice for the next 10-15 minutes, then if there's anything that may be distracting, notes may want to go to one side of the desk, any social media that's open, anything that needs to go onto airplane mode, it's always a good opportunity to practice. It's interesting actually, because so much of that stuff is about comparison, isn't it? Connecting to other people, checking our feeds. It really takes us back into that world quite easily. So let's just put those things to one side. And as always, before we come into stillness, we're going to bring a little bit of movement into the body. So that gentle stretching that those of you who are regulars will be very familiar with. Whatever you need to do to just bring a little bit of energy and stretch or a massage into the body. And just notice how that feels in body and mind as you give yourself permission to just do this. Seeing if we can cultivate a sense of loving kindness, of self-compassion as we do this, to take time away from our busy days and just show our own bodies a little bit of love. And when that feels good to you, we can just allow the body to come to stillness. Find a way of sitting that's going to feel comfortable, but also awake and present. And then just allowing the eyes to gradually close shut. Just so we have fewer visual distractions going on around us. So we can tune into this moment a little bit more easily. And just taking a moment to get settled. And maybe setting a gentle intention that for the next few minutes, we're just going to allow anything else that isn't taking place in this moment to just drop away. There's nothing to achieve. There are no judgments that we need to make on either ourselves or anyone else. And we can even anticipate the fact that during this practice, we know that our minds will wander. We know judgments will come in at some point, and that's okay, because that is just our minds working. Each time we notice that's happened, we just bring our attention back time and again to the guidance, to the meditation. Really taking a moment to embody this intention to be kind to ourselves. And just sitting with the gentle movement for the next couple of minutes. The movement of the breath moving in the body. Either having this as a general sense of the breath moving throughout the body, or finding a place where you notice it most clearly and focusing there. Not needing to think about the breath or imagine the breath, but actually tune into the sensation itself of the breath moving in the body. Maybe you notice an emotion or two come along for the ride. As we create a space here free from external distractions, we notice that the mind can sometimes bring up a variety of thoughts, different emotions. You can just recognize that when it happens, and each time letting it go and coming back to the body, back to the movement of the breath. No pressure, no urgency. And with this embodied presence, this awareness of just sitting here, no real sense of expectation, just allowing yourself to think and maybe silently repeat the thought, I'm just right, just as I am. I'm just right, just as I am. Now, this isn't something that we need to try to force to feel real. It's just a thought we're allowing ourselves to think and noticing how that feels. For some of us, it may feel a little bit uncomfortable. And for others, it will feel really nourishing, or anywhere in between. There's no way to do this practice wrong. Just silently saying to ourselves, I'm just right, just as I am. And then saying quietly to yourself, may I be happy. May I be safe. May I be healthy and peaceful and strong. And if this feels difficult, just imagining almost that you were perhaps saying this to a friend who you care about. Maybe you notice how much easier it is to offer these sentiments, these well wishes to them, and see if you can offer the same for yourself. May I be happy. May I be safe. May I be healthy, peaceful, and strong. And as you repeat these sentences to yourself, maybe even infusing it, if it feels right, with a sense of loving kindness. And now moving on to focus your thoughts on someone you care about. Maybe someone who's having a bit of a tough time at the moment. And cultivating feelings of love and kindness, appreciation and care towards that person. And quietly saying, may you be happy. May you be safe. May you be healthy and peaceful and strong. And just noticing how that feels, with no expectation that this ought to feel or be any particular way. May you be happy. May you be safe. May you be healthy, peaceful and strong. And then we move on to the final stage of this practice. And it's now to focus on the other members of this group right now who are practicing together, who have come to practice this mindfulness session in all parts of the world, here in one place. And quietly, silently saying to yourself, may you all be happy. May you be safe. May you be healthy, peaceful, and strong. May you be happy. May you be safe. May you be healthy, peaceful, and strong. And as you silently repeat this to yourself, to those other members of this group, maybe you feel the well wishes of everybody else being sent to you. See if you can allow yourself to receive that loving kindness from everybody else. And as we come out of this practice, just coming back to a sense of the body sitting here, breathing. Again, either a general sense of the breath moving throughout the body, or choosing a part that you notice most clearly as the breath moves in and out. And just allowing your attention to stay here for a few moments longer. So with the sound of the bell, it tells us that the practice has come to a close. But as always, there's no need to rush. You can just gradually bring a little bit of movement into the body. A gentle stretch, maybe a little massage. Maybe rolling the head around on the neck. When you're ready, if your eyes are closed, you can allow them to gradually open. You might want to take a few seconds to just look at the screen, take in the faces, a moment of appreciation for the people, for the group who you've shared this time together with. Okay, so we have the next few minutes to open up the chat box. So you can find my name, Solomon, and you can send me a message. And if you want to include your name and where you are in the world, I can read that out. You can ask me any questions there and just let me know, how did you find that practice? How was it to sit with a practice that brings compassion and loving kindness to the fore so prominently? Puts it center stage. Usually some of these attitudes we have in the background alongside this observation, this awareness that mindfulness brings, but this perhaps had a slightly different flavor. So you can send me a message. You can also, if I can figure this out, let's allow people to unmute. We'll see how this goes. But yeah, if you would like to speak to me, or if you want to say something to the group, maybe pop up a virtual hand and I'll see it and I can call on you, and the floor will be yours. But yeah, no pressure. But that's the thing. Okay, we have someone says it feels so refreshing. Thank you, Solomon. Thank you very much for letting us know how it felt. If you want, I'd love to hear, this is the thing, this is why it's helpful to have a conversation. I'd love to hear more about refreshing. If you want to tell me what was refreshing, or what feels refreshing, or in what way do you feel refreshed? Because I have a sense of what you might mean by that, but I'm really interested as well as if there's anything further you want to tell us. So I'll just give everyone a couple of minutes, see if anyone wants to type anything. As I said, you can find my name there. Send me a little message. Okay, we have Iam Tanuja. I'm sorry for my probably terrible pronunciation. I'm from India. This is my first time doing this with other members. I feel really refreshed. Thank you. More refreshing. Interesting. I'm interested that that's a word that's come up twice now. We have Beatrice from Brazil. Thank you for the practice. Thank you for your presence. Kiana says, it made me feel the urgency to hug someone. How nice is that? Yeah, I often get that too. And it's amazing how accessible that like emotion and urge is. And kind of all we need to do is just sometimes bring ourselves back to the present moment and allow it to come up. Because really, something maybe I wanted to mention earlier is sometimes we talk about mindfulness as developing a skill and building tools, and that's true. So it's a little bit, we talk about it, we use the analogy of going to the gym or learning an instrument or learning to ride a bike, and that is true. But at the same time, mindfulness is kind of like an unraveling, a discovery of what's already there. So whereas other skills, it feels like we're adding things onto our skill set, I really feel that this kind of compassion and loving kindness is already there. And all we need to do sometimes is just give ourselves the opportunity to tune into it, because it's so readily available when we do it. Roxanne from Luxembourg, but currently in Germany. I can't talk because my boyfriend is sleeping. Fair enough, you are let off the hook. But it feels very nice to be here with all the other people. I'm feeling very relieved, and it feels like a few stones fell off my heart. I've been having a hard time, and so is my boyfriend. He's the one I thought about when you said that we have to think about another person who is going through something. Nice. Thank you so much. Thank you for such detailed feedback, Roxanne. I really appreciate that. Yeah, really glad. A few stones fell off your heart. I'm guessing, is that kind of like a sense of the stones falling? Is that maybe a heaviness? It kind of feels like it's been let go. Yeah, I can see you nodding. Cool. Nice. So maybe there's a little bit of lightness coming through. All right. Well, all the best to you and to your boyfriend. Juliette from Juliette from France. Hello. Yvonne, I absolutely love today's session. Awesome. Thank you so much. Juliet says, I needed kindness today. It did me a lot of good. Great. Love this practice. It was a great reminder to check in with ourselves away from the busy tasks and work hours. Yeah. Daria says, I find this meditation very helpful. Oh, Darius, sorry. Love and kindness that we need from the negative thoughts. Thank you very much. Darius from Latin America. Nice. Whereabouts in Latin America are you, Darius? Hannibal, this kind of practice always makes me kind of emotional because there are sentences that are not typical to say, and it really takes courage to say it and to mean it. Yeah. It also reminds me about the ones I care about the most, or even about the strangers I've seen throughout my life. So it just makes me feel open-minded and vulnerable. Wow, yeah. Courage and vulnerability. It's interesting, there's many people may be aware of it. There is a academic called Brené Brown who talks a lot about vulnerability. We sometimes think about vulnerability as a very soft emotion. And she talks about how you cannot have vulnerability without courage. The two have to come together. To be vulnerable is a courageous act. And I think it's really helpful to remember that. It's actually to lean into those challenging emotions and to sit with them that makes us vulnerable. There's nothing really soft about it as far as I can tell. It's a real challenge and it requires courage. So thank you, Hannibal, for bringing that to our attention, for highlighting that. Someone saying hello from California. Hi. Sorry guys, if I can't see, if you don't put your name, and I can't obviously see your name from your Zoom name, then I won't attempt to read it because I'm not sure what part of it's your name. Fred from Portugal, thank you for another extraordinary session. I liked that it was different from Monday sessions, but I still got the same sense of calm and relief. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, it was quite a different session. Yeah, I'm tempted to run these types of sessions a little bit more frequently. I sometimes am wary of doing this too much, but like more compassion-based sessions. But yeah, if you guys let me know if that's the kind of thing that you enjoy, then we can definitely do more of them. Iman, oh, the pronunciation is Igloo. Igloo from Sudan. This is my first session here, and whoa, the energy is just amazing. It's so perfect after a long day of stressful med studies. Felt like a cold, oh, sorry, felt like a, sorry, cold drink after a really hard day. It also makes me feel like perhaps I need to make more time for mindfulness and caring for me. Yeah, please do. Feel free to make more time for you and to come to these sessions. I think that's a cracking plan. Cracking, maybe that's quite an English word. That's a great plan. Pat, well, thank you so much for making me do some stretching. I realized I haven't been stretching these past few days. I didn't even notice, but really thank you, and also to another wonderful session. Thank you. Jarul from, I think that's the name, Jarul from India, love and kindness is so scarce these days. Yeah. When you told me to send love to loved ones, I thought about my friend who has had a PTSD episode. I hope he feels fine now. Beautiful. And maybe what will be the last comment, Daniela, thank you very much. I really like the intro to the meditation. You really explained it well. Thank you for the comment. Yeah, try to find that balance with the introductions of not rabbiting on too much, not talking too much, but also wanting to set the context and the scene for the sessions and for the meditations as well. So yeah, thank you for that. Well, it's the end of the session, so I will open it up so you guys can unmute and chat. I'll try again not to take it too personally, that you won't chat to me, but you will chat to each other, but that's okay, that's a different issue. And yeah, I hope you all have wonderful days and evenings on Friday. Oh, I should have the rota out. I can't remember if it's me or not. I think it might not be. I think it might be. I don't know. But come, whoever it is, they'll be great. So yeah, sorry, I just can't remember. All right, guys, I'm going to head off. Have great evenings, and I will see you either Friday or on Monday. Bye, everybody.